With the new hoeing blade from Jäkel, it's really the case that often one single pass of soil cultivation is enough to achieve a perfect result.
You just have a completely different working behavior in practice than what you know from classic hoeing shares.
This is solely due to the hard blade. The plants are deposited on top of the soil.
This means these hoeing blades make significantly less soil movement and glide like a thread through the soil.
We are
a leading manufacturer of machine blades and wear parts for agricultural machinery and garden tools. In the area of hoeing shares, we found that there were many different products available on the market, but we actually saw room for improvement and continued to develop our first own product.
I have an arable farm of 70 hectares of organic farming and a contract farming business with around 500 customers. We've been dealing with the topic of hoeing for 6 years now, and I came to the conclusion that it simply doesn't work this way anymore, because the conditions are getting worse and worse. Dry soils, enormous weed pressure, and so we need really sharp cutting tools.
The new type of hoeing blades from the company Jäkel differ significantly from existing products on the market. You can also see it just by looking at them when you check out one of these hoeing blades. The first essential difference is that we pull this hoeing blade through the soil and don't push it, which is otherwise state-of-the-art and common on the market.
The typical cutting tools we used were simply the goosefoot shares, a very thin share, very high wear. The Jäkel blades are simply 3 times as thick in material thickness. We had enormous soil silting at the beginning of the year, and that's a huge crust factor.
We have integrated a leading nose, which can be understood as a crust breaker. This means if a somewhat compacted soil structure prevails, it is first broken up by the leading nose, and then the blade pulls through the soil. Our idea behind this was to have it a bit like a thread gliding through the soil.
The Jäkel hoeing blade simply pulls easily into the soil, no matter how dry it is. We have a great hoeing result in the end and a great soil loosening result. With the old goosefoot share that we had on, it's simply the case that the cutting effect was gone after a certain number of hectares, because the shares wear out enormously.
Our specially developed steel, called Stratum H1, is a patented alloy that we developed together with a European steel manufacturer and is smelted exclusively for us. In addition to that, we are also able to apply a wear protection to the surface of the blade, which then drastically increases the service life once again.
At the beginning of the year, we ran the hoeing blade. We now have done a little more than 80 hectares with the blades, and they still have 70% of their material left. This means we could do twice as much and even more. With the goosefoot shares that we had before, we worn out after 60 to 70 hectares on our types of soil. We had to cut off the goosefoot shares, realign them, and weld them back on.
We consciously chose a screwed version. With sustainability in mind, we have developed a separate system where the hoeing blade and the shank are 2 separate components that can then be fastened together with the 2 screws.
The new hoeing blade is screwed. It is fixed with 2 10.9 Allen screws, and we are done with the job in about a minute, and we have a new hoeing blade in place. We have fewer repair costs, reduced workshop effort. We have to invest less working hours on it, and that is the effect all farmers want.
We will offer the hoeing blades in all common and standard market sizes in the future. We are able to produce the blades in different widths and even material thicknesses, and can also respond individually to customer needs. The hoeing blade is adjustable in its angle and can be adapted to the soil conditions.
At our farm, we set up the hoe as follows. The first hoeing blade runs quite aggressively, the angle set more to the front, the wings at the back upwards. We set the 2 second row hoeing blades a bit flatter so that the cutting process begins at the back. Loosening at the front, cutting process in second row.
Our feedback from the numerous field trials that we have conducted this season, and also in previous seasons, is very clear. The contract farmers and also farmers are enthusiastic about the result of these new types of hoeing blades. Differences are truly visible in the field.
So I would definitely recommend the Jäkel Hoeing Blades. They offer only advantages. We didn't discover any disadvantages on our farm. We were absolutely thrilled, and that's something we rarely experience.